The girls' locker room at Fairmont High was supposed to be a safe place. A sanctuary where the girls could laugh, talk, and prepare for practice without fear of intrusion. But last Tuesday, that sanctuary was violated. 3 boys from the football team, Tyler, Blake, and Cody, slipped inside during PE, pretending it was just a harmless prank. They pushed open lockers, tossed gym clothes on the floor, and even tried to film on their phones before sprinting out, laughing. For most of the girls, the incident was humiliating and infuriating, but they were too scared to speak up. Those boys were popular, and the school had a reputation for protecting athletes. But not everyone stayed silent. Among them was Emma Rivera, a quiet, analytical girl on the swim team. She didn't yell, she didn't cry, she simply watched, memorizing details: what shoes Tyler was wearing, the time they entered, where they left their phones charging during class. Emma knew the administration would brush it off as boys being boys, so she began to plan. She wasn't just going to get them in trouble, she was going to make sure they had no choice but to leave the school. It started with a small smile as she scribbled in her notebook that night. Step 1 was already forming. Step 2 would make them sweat. Step 3 would finish them completely. By the next morning, she was ready to play a game they didn't even know had started. Emma started with subtlety. Using a spare key she'd quietly duplicated from the equipment manager's set, she accessed the boys' locker room before practice and found their football playbook, a prized possession of the team. She took photos, then slid the original back exactly as she'd found it. A few days later, anonymous Instagram accounts began posting cryptic stories about the football team's game strategies, alongside blurry, suggestive photos of the boys' own locker room taken from unusual angles. The posts didn't name names, but the school buzzed with gossip. By the time their coach found out, rumors of spies and traitors were already circulating. The boys began to suspect each other, creating rifts in their tight-knit group. Next, Emma used her tech skills to hack into the school's shared drive, specifically the folder where security camera footage was stored. With careful editing, she created a short clip that looked exactly like the 3 boys sneaking into the girls' locker room, only this time, she spliced it together with footage of them stealing from the principal's office. She never posted it herself. She, accidentally, left it open on a library computer, knowing full well it would spread within minutes. The final blow was psychological. She placed anonymous notes in their lockers saying, "We know what you did. The cops will too." At first, they brushed it off. But when a police cruiser happened to pull into the school parking lot during lunch, arranged through Emma's friend whose uncle was an officer, they panicked. One of them broke down and confessed to a teacher, trying to spin the locker room incident as a joke. By the end of the week, their reputations were shattered. Parents complained, teachers eyed them with suspicion, and their own teammates didn't trust them. Facing constant whispers and hostility, the boys' families quietly transferred them to another school for a fresh start. Emma never bragged, she never told anyone what she'd done. But when she walked into the girls' locker room again, she felt the air lighter, safer. And in the far corner, her best friend whispered, "You did this, didn't you?" Emma's plan wasn't something she threw together overnight. She'd spent years quietly observing people, how they reacted to pressure, how rumors spread like wildfire in Fairmont High, and how small actions could spiral into chaos if you timed them just right. This wasn't just about embarrassing 3 football players. This was about making them feel the same exposure, the same lack of safety, that they had forced on the girls in that locker room. She began with reconnaissance. She needed leverage before she could act. Using the excuse of returning sports equipment, Emma slipped into the boys' locker room during lunch, knowing most of the team would be at the cafeteria. She didn't take anything, not yet, but she noticed an unlocked cabinet with their football playbook, personal items like deodorant, phone chargers, and a tattered spiral notebook with Tyler's name on it. That notebook was gold: practice schedules, locker combinations, and even little doodles mocking teachers. Emma took photos of every page, careful not to disturb the order. This wasn't theft, it was intel. Step 1. Sow distrust. 2 days later, an anonymous Instagram account appeared. No face, no name, just a black and white profile picture of the school's football logo, but warped, with the word "traitor" burned across it in bold red letters. The account started posting cryptic stories, snippets of the playbook, inside jokes only the team would understand, and blurry shots of the boys' locker room taken from odd angles. The posts didn't mention Tyler, Blake, or Cody specifically, but the implication was there. By the end of the week, whispers had begun in the hallways. People started asking, "Who's leaking this?" The football team began suspecting each other. Jokes turned into snide comments, and before long, 2 players nearly fought during practice. Emma knew the seed was planted. Step 2. Escalate the tension. Emma had a knack for computers, something she'd inherited from her older brother, a cybersecurity student. Using a combination of guesswork and some tricks she'd learned from him, she accessed the school's shared drive. Buried in the folders was security camera footage from hallways, entrances, and yes, the locker rooms. The girls' locker room cameras were pointed at the entrances only, for safety reasons. She found the clip from the day of the incident, Tyler, Blake, and Cody strolling right in like they owned the place. Emma didn't post it raw. That would be too obvious, too easy to trace. Instead, she carefully spliced the footage with another incident, grainy footage from months ago of students sneaking into the principal's office. It was just shadows and silhouettes, but edited together with the locker room clip, it made it look like the boys had not only invaded the girls' space but also stolen something from school property. She didn't upload it herself. That would be reckless. Instead, she, accidentally, left the edited video playing on a library computer before walking away. The librarian found it, and within 20 minutes, half the school had seen it. The boys were called to the principal's office that same afternoon. They denied everything, but the principal's tone had changed from casual to stern. The school couldn't prove theft, but the image was burned into everyone's mind. Step 3. Psychological warfare. Emma bought a pack of plain white envelopes from the dollar store. Inside each, she placed a single note written in blocky, uneven letters. "Greater than we know what you did. The cops will too." One went into Tyler's gym locker, another into Blake's backpack, and the third into Cody's jacket pocket. She knew fear didn't need proof, it just needed suggestion. The timing was key. The next day, she asked her friend Sarah for a small favor. Sarah's uncle was a local police officer who occasionally stopped by the school to chat with students about safety. Emma told her the exact lunch period to invite him. When the squad car rolled into the parking lot, at 12:15, the effect was instant. The 3 boys froze at their table, eyes darting toward each other. Tyler muttered something about needing to use the bathroom, and left. Blake followed minutes later, pale-faced. Cody just sat there, chewing his food so hard it looked like he might break his teeth. From that point, they were unraveling on their own. Within 48 hours, Blake cracked first. He went to a teacher, insisting the locker room stunt was just a joke, and that they didn't mean anything by it. His attempt at damage control only made him look guiltier. Soon, the football coach had to deal with angry parents of the girls' team members demanding action. Practices became tense. The boys started losing games. Emma didn't need to lift another finger. But she did. Her final move wasn't about revenge, it was about making sure they could never spin themselves into the victims. She printed the screenshots she had taken of their text messages from Tyler's notebook, messages between the 3 of them planning the prank, and talking crudely about the girls they might see. She slid copies into anonymous brown envelopes and placed them in the teacher's lounge, the girls' swim team office, and, most satisfying of all, Coach Miller's mailbox. By Monday, it was over. The boys' parents, already embarrassed and angry at the social fallout, pulled them from Fairmont High and transferred them to another district. The official story was that they were seeking a fresh start for their sons. But everyone knew. The stares, the whispered jokes, the permanent stain on their reputations, it would follow them long after they'd left. Emma never gloated. She didn't need to. She simply returned to her routine, slipping into the girls' locker room after swim practice one afternoon. The atmosphere was lighter now, freer. No one was looking over their shoulder, no one was afraid to change clothes. Her best friend, Chloe, leaned against a locker and gave her a knowing look. "You did this, didn't you?" she asked quietly. Emma smirked just slightly, tossing her wet towel into her bag. "Sometimes," she said, "you don't win by yelling the loudest. You win by making sure your opponent never wants to play again." Chloe chuckled. "Remind me never to get on your bad side." Emma's eyes glinted with amusement. That would be wise. And as she walked out, the click of her sneakers against the tile echoed like a victory march, one no one would ever forget.